if they win here, that would secure them the first place going into the bracket stage. But on top of that, that means Fresh would also be 1-2 with both Team Who and Willow or BMG. I'm going to use that one of these times. But anyways, with BMG, and then it goes down to kill to death ratio, which again, we're not 100% sure on just yet, but we'll have to wait and see how that would play out. So it still could be Fresh, even if that's the case. But we're not 100% sure just yet. So anyways, we'll figure that out if it comes to it. But if Fresh wins, then it's no matter what, these two teams move on, and Fresh would actually be the number 1 seed as the result of the head-to-head. So, them winning is obviously extra incentive there, getting that number 1 seed. But anyways, we should have a good match. That's what matters, especially if Shrek plays the way they did against BMG, as we just saw right there. So, Minnie,
definitely
going to be once again, man. I mean, already an interesting start at Tremble on the side of Shrek.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually kind of surprised they almost risk picking up on the second pick. Mint actually prioritised Midas over Tremble, which to me is a little bit surprising. I know both of these teams are big Tremble players. Obviously, we've seen Nox dominate on the Tremble, and the same goes for Probosc as well. So I would actually like to understand Serenia's sort of thought process of why he actually picked up Midas instead of the Tremble, because he had the opportunity to do so. But I guess they're going to try and deal with him in another way, which would be kind of interesting to sort of see how that works out. But yeah, Ogre following with the Tremble. They picked up Pebbles as well, something that Mazzero dominated with last game. So
Yeah.
following similar processes as well, I guess.
Yeah, worked out last time around. Again, different opponent here, but still, if he's hot with it, definitely allow him to do that once again. Now, obviously, Mint, I'm sure at least a couple of their players were watching that match and, keeping that in mind here. So we'll see how they address it ultimately. But they finish off with actually the Cthulhu pickup right here to go with the Kinesis and the Midas that they initially had. So a very aggressive start in the works coming out from Mint here.
Cthulhu, very strong hero, obviously, particularly against Ophelia. Obviously, can instantly eat the creeps. It's something that, if you remember, they actually run an aggressive pseudo trial against. Was it Tree? Or, it was against.
Been,
yeah. No, because Tree doesn't even run Ophelia. It must have. It was against who, wasn't it? Who? Mint played who?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was it. And they ran an aggressive tri lane, and it worked out very, very well as well. They were sort of dominating the lane phase. Obviously, that's when Who came back eventually in the long game. It was a pretty sick series. But yeah, it's something that they might look to do here as well. Obviously, they're facing an Ophelia when they've got their Cthulhu. Not only that, they'll most likely be facing Tremble in the short lane as well, which is something they will definitely want to put a stop to, or like a snowball factor of Nox's Tremble. So I could definitely see an aggressive pseudo tri lane coming out from Mint.
Yeah. Wouldn't be out of the question. So we'll see what that ultimately comes down to. But the final ban now about to happen here. Kraken, Magnus, Keeper, Madman, and Clanks are the bans so far. You see a couple of carry options. More so just the Clanks, I guess, more looking at it. Taken out by Cluckmuck right there. You see Commit, obviously, still looking for that carry. So that's some good options. Doctor, Puppet, Swiftblade, and Warbeast were the initial ban. So you see that. Those being taken care of off the bat. Andromeda going to be the final ban, actually. By man. There you go, the Snap Pig Glacius. So again, kind of going back to what worked last game, Glacius Pebbles combination. They will have once again right here.
It's a really good combo though, because obviously Pebble has a lot of mana issues in the early game. Obviously Glacius can really alleviate that with the Chilling Presence. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference actually in the laning phase. So it's a nice combo. And I mean, Clarkwell played it very, very well as well actually. I know he is the main support player. Fane plays the jungle, so perhaps comfort pick as well. Had a dominating fashion last game with the rotations he made. Very, very impactful. So.
The final pick. They got a lot of time to think about this if they want over here on Shrek.
Yeah,
so
off lane. It depends where they want to go with their lineup. They've got pretty decent physical presence from Tremble. Obviously, good burst with the Pebbles as well and the Glaciers. They can follow up another sort of second carry if they want to, or sort of go with more what they had last time with the Midas in terms of looking for aggression straight from the get-go. Wonder.
Yeah. Ooh, Deadwood here. All right.
I guess it's going to be offlane Deadwood then, saying that like obviously Reason do with saying... I don't think I've seen Ogre pick up Suicide Deadwood though.
No.
But that's the only way they can lane that Deadwood though. Pebbles Glaciers has to be mid. So does Tremble. So Tremble's obviously short lane, but... Yeah, I guess it's something that they've done before. I do like the pickup, though. There's a lot of squishies here on the side of Mint, particularly the Valkyrie and Kinesis, and even the tanky heroes in Minus and Cthulhu obviously are a little bit vulnerable to the Willowmaker, the minus 35% strength, and like you put a Deadwood plus a Pebbles, like you could knock out like 2 heroes before the team fight even starts. So, yeah, interesting draft. They've got ways of pushing the advantage with the affiliate as well. So
Yeah. Well, the final pick going to be happening here. About 15 seconds remaining now for Fresh, of course. So, see what that ultimately ends up being. Again, the carry option. Now, they have been known to run a little bit of Valkyrie carry as of late. So, ooh, they go the Master of Arms. They also did this recently.
yeah, a lot of aggression actually. This is very similar to what they had when they played against Tree or
That's
BMG.
right.
Sorry, they had the Valkyrie, they had the Master of Arms, they had the Cthulhu and the Iceland Gogo. Cthulhu, remember, like made a lot of rotations, and they had this is exactly the same lineup. I think Labyrinth Hero was this the exact same lineup?
It might have been, yeah.
I think it actually was exact. I'm looking up right now. It looks exactly the same. At least 4 out of 5. I think it might even be 5. I'm going to check quickly.
You're right. You're right, though. That's really funny. And didn't BMG also even run a Tremble that game? Like, there are some similarities.
Yeah, I think they. I can't remember. I'm checking.
Yeah, I'll have to actually look at that. But yeah, something tells me you might be right though on their lineup, which is interesting. Seeing the exact same 5 heroes from one game to the next as far as recent history. So. But yeah, especially when it is a little bit different. I mean, again, you see the Master of Arms carry being played by a pro bust. You got the Cthulhu Iceland Gogo. Talked about the performance he's had on that hero, and I want to say he's actually 4-0 now on Cthulhu Fun because I remember when Quincy brought up the stat the last time he played it, he was 3-0. So.
All right. That's it. It was one difference. Labyrinth was on these regular Kraken, but the 4 out of the 5 exactly same Moa, Valkyrie, Cthulhu, Kinesis, and they weren't facing a Tremble though. But
okay.
It was
So wait, who was it? Who was the other hero then?
Labyrinth was on the Kraken.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Other than that, exactly the same.
Okay, and yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, that's right. They lost that game that I was referring to. So he's 3-1 at Cthulhu Fun. That was against Team Who yesterday, in fact. So again, we've had. I do love this format as far as just constantly different teams like every match here, and this is actually pretty cool. The pacing and everything, right into the next games. But at the same time, it's like it makes it hard to remember, these matchups here, really, as far as who's played who. But all right.
I mean, you do have to remember, obviously, these are only best of ones, for example. And although, we see a lot of teams sort of toppling, whether it be like Tree or BMG, obviously. And I think it was Reason Gaming as well, falling to Solaire Club, for example. So it's not as impactful as a best of 3, but it definitely shows that, there's promise there from either team taking games off. So.
Oh, look at that right there. They've never actually played against one another on record, at least, as far as Shrek versus Fresh, so kind of interesting to note there. Not too familiar with one of those play style, at least in the tournament scene. Now, whether or not they've scrimmed and played it with each other in that sense, obviously, I'm sure they've at least done a couple times. But Nox playing the Tremble, you see he gets the mount at the top lane again. It's definitely a benefit of this hero. He gets his mount at both back at base as well as another lane early on, and then eventually one of his own lanes, so he can go from place to place if need be.
It's an interesting mound, though. Like normally, you'd see the mound a little bit higher. Perhaps I know when Battlestar does it, he puts it like right up here on the top lane, from the left side of the tier 1. I'm assuming they think that Mint are going to run like that Cthulhu in his own jungle because like this mound here is obviously good if Mint are diving the Deadwood, for example, at the tier 1 tower because obviously Tremble can rotate over. But if he's 1v1, I don't think this mound is going to be too useful. Like if he puts it a lot further back, then he can come behind whoever's laning here. Most likely Moa, which it is. But I think with this mount here, I don't think it's really that useful. Honestly. I don't think he's going to be able to rotate over, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
That is true. That is a good point. So, see what use Nox makes of it in the end, but he's going to have to deal with that there.
Cthulhu is in his own jungle, so this mount actually might be quite useful. For example, if Cthulhu and Moa dive the Deadwood, so
yeah.
I'm surprised Cthulhu's not in the enemy jungle, though. I thought he might be able to pressure the Ophelia. I mean, they have blocked the camps, I guess, which is something. Ophelia doesn't even have counter wards either, unfortunately. She's already bought out, so frustrating, but makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, especially since you see Serenia down here on Kinesis, going to play that support option for Valkyrie. So Valkyrie right off the bat just takes out the mound of Tremble. Again, that's a good priority to make because he's able to use that for regen and for the invis, of course, and whatnot. So also, you see Kinesis right there denying the creep.
It's actually a really good idea of what he's done there. He's actually picked up the creep and then make sure it was actually in the tower range, so it died a lot quicker, so he can get lane control now. Because when he gets lane control, he can box out the Tremble quite easily. So, yeah, nice play there from Serenia. Obviously, very well versed in the hero.
I will say Nox did a pretty good job of it, make sure he got the kill out as well, so at least he got something out of it, but... Yeah, trying to get the lane positioning in their favor, of course, makes sense here. But so yeah, I mean you're right though. You know, get through the fun. A big power of him again. It's kind of that parasite and Ophelia counter to it to an extent, and they're not really abusing that at least just yet. You know, throughout the game it'll still be good, of course, but in the initial phase, it's where it can really have its biggest impact. You could say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they have blocked Ophelia's camp, so that's a little bit of a sort of a weakness. Or sorry, what they've done, they've tried to shut down Ophelia a little bit. It looks like this one's actually going to get dewarded most likely. Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, though, obviously he's putting pressure up top and has the potential to kill Deadwood as well. So yeah, it's not too bad. But I think if you're running an aggressive dual lane, I think you might as well go all out and put the jungler in the enemy jungle as well. But they're doing fine so far anyway.
Massera, it's only 2 minutes into the game, but already after a pretty good start once again, as he was the first game. Of course, isn't that 2v1 matchup here. Ooh, missing the last hit right there, unfortunately, but we'll get the creep wave push into his tower. 2-minute rune is picked up by Glacius, actually. Happens to be Invis and Midas. Needs to be a little careful here. He's going pretty far in. We'll start falling back, though, as Glacius does start heading back that direction. So, yeah, Glacius, we'll see what kind of use he can make of this. Now, they saw him pick it up with the ward of sight here. So they definitely got good information. You can tell through the funnel. So he's going towards the middle lane as maybe a just in case to set up a counter kill. But he's going to make his way all the way to the top lane. And now it's going to be Probusk's turn to be careful. So I don't know, though. I mean, he's he's kind of playing a little safe right here. It's almost as if he knows, man. That's ridiculous. Again, for us, it's like, oh, yeah, no, he knows. But no, he's invis. Like, how do you have that insight, man? He just simply
good plan,
knows.
Man. Yeah, that's what's up. And he's just going to go to the pool camp as well. Yeah, very, very smart play. Because obviously, even though Glacius is right next to him, Deadwood is not going to be there to rotate over. And even if Deadwood started rotating from the lane, then he definitely knows Glacius is next to him. So, yeah. Let's play.
You do see in the Legion jungle now, go through the fun. He's made the transition. He actually got a bottle, so perhaps that's what he was waiting for, to get some extra regen before heading over here to try to harass Ophelia a little bit. And we'll take a Minotaur right there, of course. Now, again, as you mentioned, they did block at least this pole camp right here, and you see right there he's not able to take advantage of the best result. But Tremble, actually, he could be in a little bit of trouble. Out comes the trample, and he's going to try to run away. The arrow's going to be dodged right there as a result of his direction, but it's not going to be enough. Serenia gets credit for the kill, and that will be a bloodlust. So Cthulhu Font doing the exchange right there, or changing jungles even, ends up working out big time in their benefit.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting note, like, this Glacius has been set up here for a while, actually, and this is actually hurting a little bit of Pebbles in the middle lane, because he's just still 1v1 against the Midas, and obviously Midas is taking advantage of that. Midas with a level advantage as well, and it's hurt Pebbles' farm a little bit, but he's actually rotating over, but, gives Midas a lot more room, and I guess it does shut down Probus a little bit. As you can see, his farm's decreased, so I guess they traded Pebbles for the Moa in that respect.
Aggressive jungle Cthulhu Font. Usually a pretty good sign of a victory, as according to that stat right there. Pebbles and Glacius, yeah, they are rotating over as well as Ophelia here. You see Cthulhu Font, he's going to trample away very defensively. He's got Tremble trying to get on top of him as much as he can, but I think they should be fine. And yeah, going to force them back right there. So 4 players attempting to chase. I mean, that means the middle lane Midas, he's also able to pick up some good farm in the meantime. So they going to use a little bit of time right there to chase and ultimately get nothing out of it. Got to be careful with that. There's poor man's portal key. Not able to freeze the correct target, though, and Midas easily elemental warps away right there. Going to be fine. Glacius needs to be a little careful, honestly. I mean, he's only level 2, and a combo from Midas could do quite a bit. Tremble, though, once again, he's in trouble. He will dodge the arrow once again. Isn't going to be enough this time around. Kinesis chasing out of mana, however. The final auto attack goes off, and it will be enough for the kill. Serenia. 2-0-0 start for him, as well as a 2-0 start for his team on top of that. So Tremble, Nox cannot find any consistent farm here. Meanwhile, though, top lane, Master goes down.
Yeah, nice play there. Just hits the low rotting grass and lands the Willowmaker. Just nice. He actually, what he did is he ran behind this sort of the trees behind it, so he rotting grassed out of sight or out of vision and completely took Probus by surprise.
Yeah. So the level 6 Deadwood, obviously that's definitely a benefit of that here. As soon as he hits the level 6 mark, and really catch you off guard if you're not careful with that. That's clearly what happened right there to Probus, perhaps. And Safe to say Mighty Marcus, again, he had a pretty good Midas game too. I know it was kind of overshadowed a little bit by Massera and his performance, but on that Midas, he had a good start. We mentioned he had really just great farm throughout. Got that earlier on Sheepstick, so already off to a solid start here. In fact, the top farmer at 350 gold per minute currently.
Yeah, that Glacius rotation really did help him out as well, because as you can see, Proboss is very, very low GPM, but it's because obviously the Glacius had a big impact. Talking of Glacius, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Again, can't really stand his ground against that Midas like I was talking about earlier, so he ends up getting caught going for that 6-minute rune. Deadwood, in the meantime, he tried to land the Rotten Grasp onto Serenia, chasing him down. Not able to do so, though. It was definitely a blind attempt, so can't really blame him for that, and in the end, he will eventually fall. Even using help, he was trying everything, man, to escape right there, but it wasn't to be. Without clear-cutting, not much of a chance for him to get away right there. Meanwhile, Cthulhu actually more so Midas, able to get the kill on a Pebbles right there. So this is looking like a really good start from it right now. And Shrek, they had all the momentum early on against BMG. It's Fresh that has the momentum against Shrek here early on.
Yeah, and I think this aggressive dual lane it was really paying off though, because they're shutting down obviously Tremble the bottom lane, and not only that, but it's forcing a lot of Ogre to really rotate over. Like as you can see, obviously Pebbles got picked off, Ophelia's farm has been very minimised, and just because of this early laning rotations from Mint, it's having a big impact. Actually, Tremble, that's going to be fun.
Gets back to the tower, but again, he's already has 2 deaths here, and only 125 gold per minute. Reminds me yesterday of Sync when KZ was playing the Tremble. Now, that was a suicide Tremble, to be fair, in the long lane. This is a short lane. Granted, it's almost a suicide to an extent because they're going aggressive against him. So, yeah, understandable he's struggling. But again, I mean, he's been sitting back here. Cthulhu finds him, though, finally, and he ends up falling. I mean, what can you do? You can't just do anything against that. You just almost have to offer team support. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Midas going for a turn kill on a Glacius. He'll get it. Might come at a cost, though, as Pebbles, yes, will finish him off with the final auto attack. So kind of forced to stand his ground right there. At least that's kind of the best case scenario in a sense. At least he took somebody with him to Labyrinth, as you saw there. So
yeah, I mean, just down bottom, it's just Icestone Gogo, man. He's setting up a lot of kills. Like he's got 4 assists to his name, and I think he's got a kill on every single lane. Set up a kill mid, set up a kill top, and also set a kill down bottom now as well. It's very, very active. And although his GPM might not be the highest, he's just making everyone else on his team have such an easier time. Than obviously shutting down everyone else on the side of Ogre. So yeah. And he's going up top as well. Like he's so aggressive, man. Like, he's making so many great rotations. Like really can't give him any more credit.
Deadwood, Mighty Marcus, it's safe to say he's going to need to be that diamond here for Shrek. Also Pebbles, he's up there as well. So yeah, they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of one of these 2 heroes getting the good start, getting the Portkey earlier on and doing well. Now, it's more likely it should be Pebbles. Obviously, Deadwood, you look at the circumstances he's been in, and you see right here once again, I mean, he is a long lane Deadwood after all, whereas Pebbles has ideally been a priority farming hero in the middle lane. So again, to see him even struggling compared to Deadwood is also kind of scary for Shrek right here. Deadwood, though, back to him at the top lane again. He's going to be closed on right here. He knows something's up. It's clear-cutting through the trees. He has that ability now, but will it be enough this time? It will not. Trample hits. Here comes the big burst from Kinesis, and the goo goes down, and that will do him in just shortly after. Probusk credit for the kill. Again, that was setting up for a while and eventually is executed to secure it. So the top 3 gold farmers down in this game do belong on the side of Fresh. You got Valkyrie leading the way at 360, then Master of Arms and Midas following it up at 300 plus GPM as well. So, but yeah, Valkyrie, we haven't mentioned too much about Zibe's Valkyrie, and he's obviously done fantastic down here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, nearly died actually, but just really, really clutch play from Zibe. Actually just TP'd out. The Ophelia used the Skeleton King and the Minotaur stun, and then just TP'd out in front knowing that he'd be fine, and he was.
Midas. Oh, what a turn. No, the Ophelia's touch comes out. Is this still going to be enough? It is. He had to stand his ground for one more auto attack, though. And that was a difference maker. Pebbles did have a shot coming out, so probably wouldn't have mattered anyways. But, again, another case of, hey, at least he takes somebody with him right there as they try to combo him down. So, I mean, I guess the good news is that Massero stays alive. He gets credit for the kill even, and definitely much-needed gold there. But constantly Labyrinth able to get counter kills is not helping things either.
Yeah, and he's having a really big impact in the lane. Like as you can see, like Pebbles in this game, like only 320 GPM. I think the last game was like nearly 400 GPM, and I think this was because of Cluckmock's rotation. Like he rotated up top, didn't find their kill onto Probusk, and he sat up there for at least 2 or 3 minutes and left Midas to 1v1 Pebbles, which obviously it's got to be in favour of Midas, and now he's got obviously a lot of experience, for example, and really had a big impact. So
yeah. Ooh, nice trample right there, just in range to hit. Ophelia also took out the Skeleton King with the hook him right there just in case, and why not? Obviously, arrow's coming out. Oh, it is going to hit. He ran right back into it. He could go right, but that would have been poor for him as well, so he almost was forced to kind of go that direction, and he ends up going down. Double tap for Serenia. Once again, we're seeing the power of Kinesis. Serenia and Boxy, man, they're really showing that Kinesis needs to be a top-tier support hero, or at least a hero that's picked up often.
Yeah, and it's just like no other support really can offer that kind of burst. Like you think of burst heroes and you think of maybe like Witchslayer, for example, but Witchslayer has normally a lot of a weaker laning stage compared to Kinesis. Like Kinesis was, boxing out Tremble in the long lane, for example. So very, very well played. Actually, top lane, Deadwood might be in trouble as well, perhaps.
Boris coming in to assist at least, but Deadwood's still in a lot of troubles. Midas is here. They're trying to actually deal with the Boris here. And actually, all of a sudden, Master of Arms went in trouble. Another Boris comes out with Tremble. Master's Call put up, though, defensively. Gets that absorb as a result. However, oh my god, he's going to live the Lion's Pride heal. Not often we see that used like
so
that.
clutch.
It saves him, though. Here comes the counter from Evans. But the stasis smash just before. No, he does get it off, though. Down goes Valkyrie, but now go through the fonts here. Deadwood going to fall. Pebbles, he used his firepower. Chuck's coming up in 3 seconds. Will it matter, though? Transmit, it's not going to proc off right there. He says, get off me, bro, with the Chuck away, but it still might not be enough. Get through the font trample. It barely connects, but it does. And Pebbles will also go down. Fresh now, a huge lead of 7,300 and 7,800 gold or experience. But yeah, Lion's Pride, man,
That was so clutch.
You may forget about that. Hell, I forget about that. That actually heals, as we saw right there.
Yeah, really, really clutch play. And he's actually maxed it out here, and he's actually going further with this sort of healing build. He's actually picked up an Astrolabe as well, and so trying to have that kind of utility and team support, but what a play, though, from Labyrinth. And I really did like the idea from Oka, though. Like, they're trying to get aggressive, they're trying to look for kills, because obviously they are in a bad situation, but just a really nice rotation from Mint. They TP in, and obviously that clutch save from Midas just really turning the tide of battle.
Yeah. That was absolutely huge and well played on their part. You see Mighty Marcus DC right there. But he is reconnecting now, and again, should be good to go here shortly. Now, again, I liked what Tremble did, and that's actually kind of a cool thing about Tremble, too, with that Boris. If you have one Boris up, the cooldown will be used, and, you can spawn another Boris, as he kind of did right there, after you use the net with the first one, and to get a second one out and use the net right away if you want to. So you tried to take advantage of that, and it looked like it could have worked out, but, again, the clutch timing from Midas and just great overall team support on the side of Mint was enough to turn that around once again in their favor. And again, the lead is pretty significant here now, 12 and a half minutes into this game here. So, Probusk, he's got the Energizer, and Nullifier Blade is a possibility always with this hero. Now, again, when they picked it up the last time, I believe it was against the Jerazai, as you mentioned. And so, how do you still think a Nullifier Blade could be the good option here?
For Moa.
For Master of Arms,
sorry.
yeah.
Master of Arms. I think Nullifier Blade is always good on Master of Arms, sort of similar to Tremble. I think it's less obviously of an important pickup here. He'll obviously still go the Energizer. I think it's hard to say, honestly, because obviously he needs stronger head because he's facing like a Pebbles and a Glacius. The Nullifier Blade will still be useful because obviously he can get out of because get purged like an Ophelia's touch. But I think Thunderclaw is a little bit more important here. So I think because he's not facing a Jerazai, I think Thunderclaw will be the item of choice here, and then Shrunken. So I think he will leave the Nullifier Blade out. Yeah. Even though it's a still good item, but yeah, I expect the Thunderclaw instead.
We'll see what that could end up being here, but. Valkyrie, I think she just purchased something. Ooh, okay, Zibi likes to do this. Gives the Alchemist Bones on the Valkyrie right here.
Playing against an Ophelia,
yeah.
Pretty useful, I guess, in that respect. He's having a good time as well. It's kind of a late Alchemist Bones, to be fair, but at the same time, it's still useful. Like, it can really give Ophelia a very, very annoying time because you just purge obviously all the minions straight away. And he's not really needing to be a lot of utility because it's obviously Cthulhu and Midas has created a lot of space, so he can just focus on farming. And I can understand, I guess. He's kind of under-leveled a little bit, wants to get those levels back. So
that's true. Yeah, this is a brutal game for Ophelia, man. Cthulhu Bot's one thing, but now you got an Alchemist Bones Valkyrie, it's like she's not going to have minions for a long time. She's going to need to use them initially. Now, top lane, Master of Arms doesn't get picked off. Tremble, okay. Didn't even realize he ended up porting up there. I was watching this bottom lane, but that he does, and again, taking advantage of the mounds elsewhere, and sets up a kill. So, well played by Nox. We're going to get back into this game. It definitely starts with plays like that and taking advantage of that mobility, of course. You do see, though, again, still only 163 gold per minute. Only has Steam Boots here. Is going to try to push the middle, or the top tower, excuse me. As the bottom tower is pushed in, however, at the same time by Mint. And they're going to still go. In fact, may try to collapse here in the middle lane if Shrek is not careful right here. Let's go through the front lines. I think he just bought his portal key too, which actually, yes, it is being delivered. So they will defend the top lane though on top of that and keep Shrek from pushing that one in effectively. So defending elsewhere. There's the portal key on Deadwood though. So again, here's a starting chance at least for them to make something happen. As Cthulhu goes in with that portal key, he just got Ophelia right off the bat picked off. And there's more to come as the Obliterate is out. And Calatius trying to run away. Only level 5 is... Oh my god, is he actually going to get away? Barely. Midas is chasing. I think it's going to hit him though. Yep. Oh, it hits. Beautiful line sprite right there. Gets the kill onto him. And in fact, they're still going right here. Pebbles, he chucked, but he chucked the creep. He tried to get the elephant, but wasn't able to do so. Might not have mattered again anyways. And another kill onto him. This is just, again, complete control in favor of Mint. And no signs of slowing down, even now with the portal key on Deadwood. It's clear that it's coming a little bit too later, unfortunately.
Yeah, but this Mint draft is almost like it's like a face rush kind of strategy. Like we've got Cthulhu and Midas can really force a lot of team fights, and obviously with the Valkyrie Prism as well as they did there, they can take team fights even kind of without the portal keys kind of thing. Like Midas just sort of walked up to him and got his combo off. Obviously there was a portal key on Cthulhu that helped, but yeah, Mint they're just really utilizing the draft they had, and when we saw the game against BMG, like the Valkyrie Prism just sets up so many kills, for example, and although obviously they can use smoke, they just have the Valkyrie Prism just for the ease of execution in that respect, and just making a lot of great team decisions with it. So.
Farm of the jungle as a team again. Cthulhu with that portal key. You got Midas going the Astrolabe here, and very likely a portal key now himself. On top of that, Midas is an interesting hero with an Astrolabe, but it's. I say that because, kind of like the Flex idea, where it's a strength range hero, so you want to take advantage of that bulkiness, so we see a lot of the Crushing Claws picked up early on, but, all that builds into eventually is the Bracers, and then on top of that, of course, an Astrolabe, so it's that idea is like, do you really want it, but to me it makes sense, in a case like this,
really
you might as well invest further with it.
Definitely, like you said, Break here, it's similar to the Flux. I really do like it because it just synergizes so nicely. You build a lot of Crushing Claws, so you want to turn them into Bracers, which turns into Astrolabe, and it's a very nice item pickup on Midas as well, because you can jump in and then Astrolabe and save your teammates because you have that initiation factor with your skill set. Obviously, he's got a portal key now as well, and yeah, it makes sense. I really do like it.
Build Rocket coming out right here, and we said life was going to be tough on Ophelia. We weren't lying. She's in a lot of trouble right here, and she's going to go down pretty quickly as she's found once again, this time by, well, obviously Mint as a team here, and that's not the third death for Fine. I will say this, looking more and more at this team, you're right, Fine kind of joining them. You got Horsefall like a Nox, you know him for history. Masra has some history. Mighty Marcus and Cluckmuck, they're fairly newer from what I recall as far as, being top-tier competitive teams. But still, this is, Fine especially focusing on him. He has a great history, I like his name, too, because, Fine playing Fine. You got to play on words there. But I remember this guy playing Parasite very well and be one of the top Parasite players when he was around. What team did he play for? Do you recall?
Team Excellent.
Was it Team Excellent? Okay, that's right, yeah. Playing part of the Team Excellent group. Team Excellent. But, yeah, again, this game, it's a brutal game for him. And it's continuing to be that way, unfortunately. So, giving him some love, though, because he deserves it from his history.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's a really solid player. Always has been, kind of always will. Very solid player. And obviously he replaced Denver Pro after he left the team. Or he got kicked. I don't actually know the ins and outs. But
with that
regardless,
team,
he's not there.
Yeah.
He's not on the team anymore. So
Valkyrie, she has, 2,600 gold saved up here. So again, with the Alchemist Bones, clearly that's enhancing the farm as you would expect. 400 plus gold per minute now. And going to push in the bottom lane right here with that. You look at Master of Arms actually sitting on a Warp Cleft here. But I guess we're going to see the Thunderclaw coming out for Pro Buskin. Not necessarily one of the items that I don't think you brought up earlier. I get Thunderclaw on Master of Arms.
Yeah, I said they usually pick up Thunderclaw. Do you not listen to me, Break?
I try. There's a lot going on, man.
I know. I don't make it very easy for you either. I say like a million things in one sentence, but I did say Thunderclaw if you watch the replay, Breaking.
I'll have to go back and confirm that. What is Pebble? He wanted the tower kill. He doesn't actually throw anything out, though, as far as the chuck. There we go with the chuck. Valkyrie. Valkyrie Prism, though, is used. Is it going to be different? Nice Stasis Smash right there to turn things out. And now here comes Master of Arms right here. He already uses his ultimate, but it needed right here to chase down Pebbles. Now, they did pick off Midas in the process, but now you do see Ophelia also going to get caught out. She will go down. Deadwood gets away ultimately. Midas, again, he did die, but a 2-for-1 exchange. Well, they did get the tower kill, right? Yeah, Massaro did get actually credit for it, but obviously it came at a cost of his life right there. So that was a little funky. He like mistimed it there.
That was really clutch, though, from Serenia, though. He actually station smashed, obviously, the Valkyrie, reduced the damage taken by 50%, and as a result, Valkyrie survived, and then just good follow-up play from Proboss there, and secures the kills and saves Valkyrie, so a really nice play there. And talking of Nullfire Blades, though, Valkyrie's picks one up himself.
Yeah. That he has. That's a level 1, I take it, currently. Yes, it is. So, of course, the idea of upgrading it. Pretty good idea for how cheap it can be, and I'm sure we could possibly see that. But yeah, again, Thunderclaw on Master of Arms, it really is. It's more than a farming tool on him.
Sense.
It's just a powerful item because of that red ability. So kind of like Tremble for that matter. You know, the double attack. Any hero that
synergizes really nicely.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had somewhat of a hard laning stage as well, because obviously Glacius was sort of boxing him out a little bit. He died a couple of times to the Deadwood, so it'd be nice to give him a recovery mechanism, and it looks like he's building towards a stronger end as well, which I did say breaky, just so you know.
Calling the items correctly here. Look at you go.
It's for once, man. I've got to do something right.
Once in a while it happens. Top lane, you see 4 players are up here for Mint. As Deadwood, the only one here so far. Lex Talionis, he going that here. He's figuring out why not get it here, and again, if you're all about the burst, helps with there.
Yeah, it's just great. It's a small upgrade to your burst potential. Obviously, Codex is far too expensive and a little bit too much troll.
And there's no null stones
Lex
on the
makes
Hellborn
sense.
team, so.
Oh god, man, I'm gonna get trolled that whole time, man. Oh dear, I'm never living that down.
Good fun, good fun. Top tower, though, it is going to end up falling right here. Deadwood, again, he's the only one here so far, unless he has vulnerability, but ain't going to happen, so he'll just hang around a little bit longer. Maybe see if somebody still pushes up by themselves. Valkyrie Prism going to be used now. They will be spotted doing that, so not the most necessarily sneaky Valkyrie Prism here. And you can kind of see on the mini-map that Shrek is starting to retreat the most as they can, but Glacius, oh! You know, I will say he dodged that arrow, but honestly, that was more so Zibby missing the arrow. And he goes down right there. Boy, did he pay for it. Missing that arrow right there. That's unfortunate. So that wasn't quite Beta's style, but it was up there as far as in-the-face arrow missing. Pebbles, oof, barely gets away just before.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that was Glacius does do a lot of damage though, like just with the glacial downpour. Nice rotation from Pebbles as well, but they are like really far behind, and it's hard to say. Like they need to kind of get aggressive because they're sort of sitting back, almost waiting for Mint to make the plays. And actually, talking of plays, Ophelia.
Yeah, Ophelia's gonna get caught here too. it's a brutal game for Fine once again. 0-5-1 right here, not surprising.
And then all of her creeps get eaten or killed. It's
yeah.
It's a very tough game for Ophelia, but. Yeah, it's just one of those things like when your back's against the wall, obviously your first reaction is sort of to seize up and try and play defensive, try and play passive, and wait for the misplays to happen from Mint. But when you do that, then you lose obviously control of the game, and Mint obviously just go from there. Obviously, trying to get aggressive, looking for kills is incredibly risky, and it is most likely going to backfire. But at least there's a possibility that it won't, for example. But regardless, so that they're playing somewhat passive. They might look for actually go up here on top lane. Deadwood is setting up with Pebbles.
Yeah, Cthulhu Font, he's now, again, it's not the ideal target, but it's something at least. Holy crap!
Goodness.
Okay, Cthulhu Font's usually known as a tanky hero. Now, to be fair, he didn't have his hook him up, and, he's not the most tanky just yet, so, but still.
Lex plus Rotten Grass, man. He's got minus 8 armor? Oh.
A lot. I'd say a lot in that case.
Yeah, minus 9 armor as Tremble dies in the meantime. Yeah, minus 9 armor just wrecked him like that. Oh, jeez, that Williamaker did so much damage. And I mean, I'm a really big fan of Lex Talionis on Parasite, but I mean, it works with Deadwood as well. Just gives you so much burst potential. And
just any burst
clearly
hero.
Showed it there.
Pebbles, you could argue that might not be a bad option either. So, But yeah, obviously the strength reduction on top of that, so yeah, just not nearly enough for Cthulhu Font to survive right there. Well played. Being patient to stay around and get the kill. Now, as we mentioned, though, unfortunately, Tremble once again falling as he was trying to farm up a little bit in the jungle. I will say the gold per minute charts, it has risen quite a bit for the Legion side as a team. Pebbles, Deadwood, and Tremble, even after that death once again, are up there now. Still a lot of ways to go, of course, and getting the shrunken head, especially on Tremble, is very important here. it feels like, but still, again, a little ways off of that. Rotten Grass going to miss, trying to hit Valkyrie right there. Unfortunately, just to the right, though. You see Master of Arms with an Invis rune, actually, is hanging around and seeing if any opportunity comes up for an initiation here. Pebbles, or that's Deadwood. He's being ported back, right? Oh, he goes in and gets ported away, though. Kinesis really on top of these stasis matches, man.
Yeah.
Sure
I'm surprised Valkyrie or Zibe didn't purge that off. He saw that he had Affilia's touch on him before he even jumped in.
True.
I'm surprised. Maybe just a little bit slow fingers there, but regardless, because that was an easy. I'm more surprised that Ogre even risked that, seeing as they had a Valkyrie. That's a really risky play.
Something tells me either he might have just forgot, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things. Now, that hasn't always been the case. I know it's been a while here since that change happened, but it's not something that we see ever. So maybe he just simply forgot, or just something didn't add up. But
he must have just not realized that there was no fire blade. But regardless, though, just unfortunate. Like if you're like a Dr. Repulse and you make that play, I don't think it's as bad, because it's very hard to target you if you're sort of flying around with ludicrous speed back and forth. But you're literally just portal keyed in there, and no one's just asking for it. But alas, didn't happen.
Yeah, that's we'll see if it comes back to bite them in the ass in the futures. We'll see about that. So. Top lane, he got Deadwood pushing it in, though, but you see this from time to time where if one team's pushing the top lane and the Hellborn team, in this case Mint, they're going to go for Conqueror. And I think, Shieldbreaker pickup for Valkyrie actually going to be delivered here. So not often we see a Shieldbreaker, honestly. I feel like it's underrated item to an extent. But
I really do like it as well, because do you remember that one time where we saw, I think it was Nullstone, it was Beaverbanger playing the carry Valkyrie, and like she was hitting like a wet fish. Like I think she had like Dawnbringer plus Wingbow. She had like almost 12,000 gold worth of items, and she just wasn't doing any damage. And in this case, I do like the build from Zibi, a lot more aggressive. Yeah, it's very, very risky, but I mean, she's not the only source of damage. Obviously, she's got the Master of Arms and the Midas sort of back her up. But at least with this item build, she's a little bit more of a threat than just going, kind of like a very defensive build in terms of like Geos and Nullstone kind of things.
Well, and it's a case too, like this Deadwood Pebbles, it's a very upfront burst you team here on Shrek. So it's like, what could you really get, more defensively that would allow you to survive through those bursts?
Exactly.
Probably not
That's
a whole
true.
lot. So why not just go all out aggressive and knowing that you would die anyways and just get the most damage as a result?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you go defense, like you said, you're probably going to die anyway. Whereas this is at least you're a threat. Actually, top lane.
Going to be jumped here, but Deadwood, the counterplay coming out. He was not ready for Midas to be there, I'm pretty sure it was. And all of a sudden he goes down, so they're hanging around. That's one way to throw it off the burst, of course. And now Glacius, he's in trouble still, as apparently good, because Midas going the wrong direction there, despite having the haste rune and trying to chase him down. But Portal King into the trees, and unfortunately Glacius was just simply walking down the lane. So at least he will stay alive, but again, they get the kill on it, Deadwood. Now Nox is just continuing to try to find more and more farm where he can. And again, has been climbing up at least. That is a start, and still a long ways to go. But of course, he's got a shrunken head now, and chasing after this Valkyrie. Not going to get too much, though, in the end.
One thing we didn't actually mention, I've been talking about her, or this Zibe playing a very aggressive sort of style of build. She's actually got the token as well, and that makes a lot more sense. She's threatening, but she's kind of glass cannon build, and obviously with the token, it will allow her to play a lot more aggressive without having to be wary of her positioning, because she's got the token. So, yeah makes sense.
That's interesting, actually. Labyrinth apparently just set the record for single-game kills on Midas at 9. Midas is a hero that you'd expect could actually get a good amount of kills, so a little surprising to see that. I guess he's somewhat newer, too, to be fair, with the rework, and teams are still now kind of starting to get used to him. So, but congratulations, Labyrinth, in the record books.
World record!
That huge record book that we have, and everyone's going to be looking at now, but cool to point out there, though. All right, about to pause here, coming out from Shrek. Think things over. Again, continues to be in a deficit here, 16,000 gold, about 15,000 experience. Again, guys, this is game 2 of 4 games in total today. Again, all these series are best of 1, of course, and this matchup specifically. This is the final match of Group B. Keep on mentioning that. So much on the line here. Fresh, if they keep this going for them, then that means they would actually be the number 1 seed, and Shrek would also be moving on as the number 2 seed, and both BMG and Team Who would be knocked out. Where if Shrek is left some way, somehow makes a comeback, then we will be at a 3-way tie of the other 3 teams, and it comes down to kill-to-death ratio amongst one another, which we're not 100% sure on just yet still. So, but as far as the rest of today, we're still in this pause here. Again, guys, 2 more matches to follow. good ones at that. Nullstone Gaming versus Solaire Club, which could definitely start telling us a lot about how things could shape up over there. And then you got Sync Esports versus Nullstone to finish it off. So Nullstone Gaming, they will be at a spot. They need to beat Solaire Club to have that final match really matter in the end, at least for themselves. Because if they lose against Solaire Club, that means they'd be 0-2 going into it and pretty much out of contention. So that's going to be a fun follow-up match. When I say that, because against Solaire Club, they're coming off a victory over Reason Gaming yesterday. Do not forget that. So that's obviously a team that clearly has potential to compete. And Nullstone going to have to bring their A game, no doubt. So those will be the two follow-up matches. Again, finishing strong with Nullstone versus Sync. Always a fun one there. So good day ahead of us here. And now that doesn't have on the schedule there, but as far as the follow-up, guys, we're going to be coming back on Tuesday once again with the beginning of the bracket stages. Again, the top two from each team move on. And then it will be a double elimination best-of-3 series matchup all throughout into the eventual grand finals, which will be next Sunday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday will be match days throughout the next stage of this event here. So a lot of just good Han coming at you once again into next week, and then we'll have the week off, which then leads into, of course, the World Finals, March 28th and the 29th.
Freedom, week off.
Yeah, right. I know, so much. All this casting Han, man, it's brutal.
Yeah, I don't have a life outside of Han, so it doesn't really matter. But I can just play more Han, actually.
Do that. I've been starting to grind a little bit lately. I've been playing a little more Han lately than I have in the past, to be honest. It's feeling pretty good. Getting trying to get my throne back in #1 player. Since I've been off the scene, others like Mickey now has the #1 ladder ranking. I figure why not try to get it myself? How hard can it be, right?
Easy, man.
I wish I was young, man. It's so much easier when you're young. You're lucky, Minnie.
I'm not that young, mate. I'm getting old.
You're young.
19.
Oh, so old.
I turned 19 actually 2 weeks ago, so.
Did you? You didn't bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
What the hell, man?
Sorry.
Happy late birthday, then.
Thank
19 years old. Congratulations, you made it that far. All right, Valkyrie here. He's you see it right there, just using the Alchemist Bones on the Minotaur. So Ophelia's basically creepless. Well, I guess she has a Skeleton King, but that's it now. Hookem was used on one, Alchemist Bones on the other. Again, hard life here for Ophelia. So, then there's even the Nullfire plate, which we haven't really talked about yet. So,
Oh, yeah.
jeez, it's like brutal. All right, here we go though. Initiation on and Glacius. Now Pebbles goes on a Master of Arms in the background. The Chuck didn't really go through though, and the Stricken now popped. Glacius already dead, of course, and now Pebbles. Everyone else in retreat mode. He will be
that
fine.
was so clutch.
Yeah, Stasis Smash, man.
Yeah, the stage you stopped the toss edge. I didn't know you could even do that.
I didn't know either.
That was insane. That was actually a really, really clutch play, though. I mean, like, if he gets chucked in there, he gets locked down, he could lose them all easily. But in the end, he survives, and obviously the only one who does is Glacius.
Now, I know Stasis Smash compared to Storm Spirit, obviously the big difference is that you can still target them in the Stasis Smash, but I'm still going to say it's better as we've seen here. But anyways, Cthulhu right here. He's taking some good damage. He pops. The Shuriken still alive. Will finally follow. So Devil a little bit too far right there. Valkyrie in the meantime just putting an auto attacks. However, she gets bursted down too. So overstaying their welcome a little bit here is Mint, but now there's a Stasis Smash on a Pebbles. Brings him down. Glacial down far off to the side. Valkyrie's trying to get away. Big mass control coming out though from Serenia. Serenia says, don't worry, I'm the support, but I'm going to try to help carry you guys right here. Labyrinth gets a double tap.
Goodness.
Down goes Deadwood.
Did you see
and
that?
they just clean them up.
Oh my god, Serenia, man, that was so big. And, like, look at the damage done. Like, it's like 31 minutes in, and he's like he's doing more damage than like the Deadwood and the Pebbles. He's about 5% less than the Midas. So he's doing more than Pro Boss and Valkyrie. That's just so ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Serenia, really, really big. But in the end, they take that team fight, and I think that might be the game breaky. I thought she was a little bit too strong, but that team fight though could have gone either way. And I thought Ogre were really looking in favour of that team fight, but then Serenia used the match control and just everything just got exploded upon breaky. That was insane.
That was ridiculous, and again, another prime example. If you're still not sold on the idea of Kinesis being a fantastic support, because yeah, it's one thing to the burst, but as I was just talking about, she basically has a free Storm Spirit built into her as far as her skill set goes. And that's also, again, even better in several cases. It can be used aggressively better because you can still attack them in it, and on top of that, it provides a stun for you once they come down. I mean, it's just better than Storm Spirit, I think you could say, and she gets it for free. So we're realizing more and more that this Kinesis is really something here. Is yeah,
what?
Deadwood, the Valkyrie Prism, I
Just
think.
punched him.
Wait, did
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
made it difficult.
I was gonna say, that was a for sure kill on the Master of Arms there, because he could have just ulted him through the Shrunken Head and stopped the TP, but yeah, it must have been stopped.
Yeah. This is Serenia's high kill plus assist in zero death game. Well,
Oh, he's the only one on the
12.
whole game that has actually got 0 deaths. That's insane for a support player, actually. And he's got spell shards as well.
is he?
Oh,
Jeez.
man. We talked about him playing Kinesis and as his hero, but clearly showing it here as well. Oh, Ophelia, dead.
Yeah, Philly doesn't stand a chance. You know, it was interesting. We had Swinnemelon's honor in the grand finals, and I think that was one of the things he was bringing up too. How Kinesis not a hero. Zach always brought it up to him, and he never really let him play it. But now he kind of regrets that. After he saw the Boxy game, especially, was like, wow, yeah, maybe we should have thought about that a little more. But
Like him mad, the stay room on everything, regardless if they hate Kinesis or not. But.
yeah, oh yeah, that's true. And highest kills in a zero death game and highest assists in a zero death game. Oh wait, so Serenia's highest. So do you just mean for like anyone? Or no, that wouldn't make sense. Or just Serenia. Wait, are you saying for anyone it's the highest kills and assists with 0 deaths? Trying to figure it out here. Sometimes, Quincy. Sometimes. Pebbles jumping in right here, looking to make the play. This could be a final chance, trying to go all in a sense. Kinesis, though, he gets the defense master's call, and he is standing his ground. Mass control already used. He ends up going down, so much for the 0 deaths. I think that's a classic example of Cash's Curse right there. Valkyrie getting a lot of damage out of her, too. And she will end up falling. And now, actually, they catch Master of Arms. He goes down. What is going on here? Actually, Shrek is getting some big kills left and right. Cthulhu though, and Midas are going to try to stand their ground. And it looks like they're going to do it somewhat. Down goes Dewa, but no, Midas goes down. And now it's just Cthulhu all of a sudden. So a little bit of throw here in mid. But again, you look at the base in the meantime. It's being pushed in heavily at the top lane. They get Cthulhu. He couldn't get the kill in the end as a hat trick comes out for Macera there. So, hey, finally Shrek wins a big fight here. But I think it's safe to say a lot of damage has already been done, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think just Ogre took a team fight that was just a lot more favourable than the Mint at the time. Mint were a little bit, I think they were 2 or 3 at the time, and then obviously they came a little bit 1 by 1 later, and it sort of hurt them a little bit. They killed Valkyrie straight off the bat as well, killed him very, very quickly, and the Kinesis didn't have a big impact either. I think Ultimate was on cooldown, I think, actually. I don't think he used it he might have used it that fight, actually.
Yeah.
He probably did, I don't know. Regardless, though, I think Ogre, they're still 24,000 gold behind, unfortunately. Racked is down mid, Racked is down top as well. But it's even though they're so far ahead, like the Tremble is still having a big impact in these team fights, as well as obviously the Pebbles and Deadwood burst. Like, if Pebbles and Deadwood can burst someone down like by themselves, one each kind of thing, before the team fight happens, they still have a presence in the game, honestly. And it all comes down to can they? I just think Deadwood or Pebbles can kill Valkyrie once by himself, and the other one can maybe kill the Kinesis, for example, and then they don't have to deal with the other 3. And if they can get a perfect jump, then that could be very impactful.
Yeah. Well, that fight really does tell us that again this game isn't 100% over just yet.
Valkyrie.
The squishiness of, and that's another example right there. Yeah, the squishiness of them. And again, it's hard to say it's really squishy because this is just a very bursty team with Pebbles and Deadwood. Alone, they're very powerful. Obviously, on the same side too, it's even extra. So it's, I guess this game's not over yet. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves because Shrek is really getting several kills here left and right. They're buying more time. Tremble most certainly is a scary later game hero when he gets the 6 slots here. So. He's working on it. He's got the Brutalizer now with the Ice Brand here.
I'm not a big fan of the Ice Brand picked up, really. Because he's got like an 8-second Shrunken Head, and that's really a lot of the damage still magical. Even though actually Moa and as well as Valkyrie still doing a lot of damage, I don't think Ice Brand's going to offer him much. Like I said, we talk about how Ogre is a very bursty, heavy team, and that can come through Tremble as well. Like he's got 8 seconds of kind of immunity in terms of magic, and you want to be dishing out as much damage as you can in those 8 seconds. And outside of that, I don't know. I think maybe just building towards maybe the Savage Mace, but I guess Savage Mace is too expensive, perhaps, and Ice Brand just gives him what he needs right now. But I guess it's okay.
Is interesting.
This is big, though.
I don't think they know they're doing Kongor. At least yet. Now they might have an idea right here. Glacius is going to have them come out. The Cthulhu goes in, but again, they don't really know. Okay, the Courier's now on top. Here we go. Midas goes in. Conqueror's low. Not dead just yet. The Glacius down far off the side. Going to be killed immediately. Dead with thrown in the air. He comes down. The Conqueror goes down. Who got the token? Tremble gets the token. Will this be a turnaround chance now for the Legion team? Pebbles will fall, and all of a sudden it's Tremble and Ophelia by themselves trying to fight this off. Nobody dead on the side of the Hellboy team currently. Down goes Tremble. Token Life will bring him up, but again, going to die shortly after, most likely, as yes, there's the burst, and down he goes. Pebbles buys back as well as Deadwood, but they couldn't get there nearly in time. So an attempt, I mean a hell of an attempt from Shrek, but it will fall just short there, at least in that fight. And now you can tell Mitch is going to go cutthroat and really trying to finish this game. Tremble, does he have a buyback? He does not. Nox does not have a buyback, so that's another minute here that you will be without your big sustained damage dealer, at least, with that Tremble.
Yeah. I think Ogre are going to lose both their racks or their final racks. I think Ogre just have to defend as them free, even though it sounds very suicidal, because otherwise they're going to lose like Mega Creeps, so they have to go.
Yeah. You got to do something. You can't just be sorry about what just happened. You got to try for something here. Midas, he gets dumped immediately, but nice defensive Master's call off the bat. He will survive in the end. Helps to turn things around. And again, it's pretty much as expected. The damage too much, the levels too much. At this point, it was just overall too much. And GG well played's coming out. So this game will go to Mint. And that means both teams are advancing on to the bracket stage. So in the end, kind of a victory still for both sides. But obviously, as far as this game goes, now the difference, though, this means Mint will get the #1 seed out of Group B, whereas Shrek will have the #2 seed. Not the biggest deal, but at the same time, it's still a little something there. So congratulations to both teams, really, but especially Mint. But yeah, BMG's out.
Yeah.
BMG and Team Who, for that matter, do not advance on. But yeah, BMG's definitely the focus there. That is interesting.
It's so ridiculous, man. Like they win Thailand and then, they win the playoffs. Sorry, I keep saying that. they win the playoffs. They go to Thailand. Obviously, they pick up their sponsor as well, and then they lose the next tournament. But
yeah,
I don't know, that might have. I don't want to sort of over emphasize it, but it's a little bit of a demoralizing thing, without a doubt. Like you pick up, your sponsor, you go to, you win your tournament, and yet you kind of lose the next battle, lose the next couple of tournaments, kind of thing, on matches in that respect. And it's like, I don't know, there might be a creeping doubt of, were we the right team to go to Thailand? I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
I 100% agree with you. It can't be good, I think, is where you got to put it. I mean, this isn't a good thing for BMG that they lost here, I think it's safe to say. So, losing here, it means not only, as you said, maybe kind of demoralizing a little bit going into what's going to be the World Finals now, but again, that means now one less week. They would have been at least 2 best-of-3s they were guaranteed, and possibly more, depending on how they did, obviously, in the next stage. So that's a lot more tournament practice that, unfortunately, now they're just going to miss out on too, because of falling short just here. But credit to Shrek is love, especially. They're the ones that came through with the big upset there in the match previously to this. And the big reason why BMG is ultimately not moving on. So, in fact, updating the brackets right here now to clarify for those that may sit here and say, like, oh, well, they obviously threw it because they were both going anyways and blah, blah, blah. Fresh would have been going anyways, we found out. It turns out that the kill-to-death ratio that would have broken the 3-way tie, Fresh had the advantage between both Team Who as well as Willow or BMG anyways. So no matter what, Fresh would have been advancing on. So before that all comes up, there's no point, because it really wouldn't have meant anything in the end. So, in that sense, BMG was actually already knocked out going into this matchup here. We found out. So, but again, congratulations to both of these teams, both Fresh and Shrek, once again, on taking the victory and as a result, advancing on to the next stage. So, big news for them and feeling good, I'm sure. But